What's good, everybody? It's DJ back again with another goods video. If y'all tuning in, go ahead and like, subscribe, hit the little bell notification so you can stay updated on my new videos. For this one, I got a pretty short one for y'all today. In my last video, I briefly described what the germination process is, along with showing how to make seedling pods out of repurposed water bottles. If you haven't seen that video yet, go ahead and check that one out. I'm gonna put a link down in the description for that one as well. In this one, I just wanted to go into a little bit more detail about the actual germination process, some of the supplies I use, and how I keep the conditions as optimal as possible. That way, as many seeds sprout as possible. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get this thing started. All right, so for this part, I just wanted to go into a little bit more detail about some of the supplies that I use to go ahead and get my process started. As a disclaimer, there's many different options you can use, so don't take what I say as 100% true. Do your own research as well. But getting right into it, the first thing you want to think about is the medium that you want to plant the seeds in. This right here is basically made of topsoil, compost, the different droppings from different animals like poultry droppings, cow manure as well. You can buy all these materials separately and then combine them yourself, or you can buy it all together at any type of garden shop. And I do try to use as much organic material as possible when I grow my plants. The next part is basically what you want to put the soil and the seed in. So this is just pretty much just a biodegradable pot. You can use the little seedling pods I made in my last video, but this is just another option. The way this works is, you plant the seed, grow it in a greenhouse or grow it indoors for as long as you need to, and then once it gets warm enough to transplant outside, you can put it in the garden or in a pot, and this is all biodegradable, so it'll break down. It's completely safe, it's all organic, but basically you don't have to worry about disturbing the roots whenever you replant it. The next part is probably the most important part, is the seeds. So got different types of seeds, herb seeds, vegetable seeds. A lot of times on these bags, it'll tell you, the best time to plant them, how deep you need to plant them, what kind of medium that you need to plant them in. So it's good to really, keep the information that's on the back of them. That way, like ideal times to actually plant your seeds. And really, the last thing that you'll need, especially starting off, is always you want to journal so you can keep track of, what you're planting, the dates they sprout. Any issues that you're having with plants, what kind of nutrients you're feeding them, just so you can know how to make sure that you have a consistent garden going forward. And then an almanac, don't underestimate having something simple like this. It really just gives the basics of when to plant things. Pretty much with gardening and planting and growing vegetables and produce, a lot of things grow at different times based off of the zone or area that you're located in, the temperature, frost dates. Really just gives you all the information that you're going to need to at least get started off with a garden. And then from there, if you want more information, go buy garden books and just do more research on the internet if you want more specific details. But for here, this will give you pretty much all the basic details you'll need about when to start plants, what plants to start when, and how to actually keep them cultivated and keep them growing as nutritious as possible. So in my next part, I wanted to show exactly how I put the soil into the pots that I'm going to germinate the seeds in. And then I might show how to actually germinate some fruit seeds as well. So let's go. So here I'm basically just putting the soil into the biodegradable pots from earlier in the video. I'm planting multiple different things, including some more tomatoes, peppers, okra, lettuce, a couple other things as well. And each one of these seeds has a different depth that you're supposed to plant it. Like I was saying earlier, on the seed package, it'll give you instructions on the depth and estimate how long it'll take to sprout as well. But once you do it over and over again and write it in your journal, you should have a good idea about how long it should take for each seed. Then you just want to keep the soil moist, not completely drenched, but just a little bit moist, and then a few days it should sprout. All right, so here I just got a couple organic fruit that I'm going to take the seeds out and germinate these seeds as well. If you go back to my second video, I have lemon trees, orange trees, a couple different apple trees growing, and they're all organic. The reason I got into planting fruit trees is I saw a quote that said the best time to plant a fruit tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now, so I kind of went ahead and just jumped right in on doing that. I don't have a whole lot of experience, but I've still just been learning as I go. But for these, I just want to show how I got the fruits out, or got the seeds out, and then how to actually germinate them as well. For citrus fruits and citrus trees, I don't really live in a very tropical environment, but it's still warm enough where citrus trees will still grow. For the grapefruit, I just want to show how to cut it open. If you notice that citrus seeds have like a little shell around them, and I'm gonna peel that shell off just to make the germination process a little bit easier. For apple seeds and pears as well, I have a couple pear seeds that I already have out as well. But for apple seeds and pear seeds, they have to go through a process called stratification once they come out of the apple. If you think about it like real life, if an apple, fell in the ground and the tree went under the dirt, then it doesn't actually sprout until the springtime, because the stratification process is whenever it's cold outside, that cold and moistness different from a lot of the vegetable seeds helps the germination process actually get started. But what you can do is mimic that process without actually having to plant it outside, and I'll show how to do that in a few minutes as well. And then a kiwi, don't have any experience growing kiwi at all. The reason I'm attempting this is one of my boys actually told me he wanted me to try to grow a kiwi tree, so I told him I'll try it. But next part, I'm gonna just show how to cut these all open, get the seeds out, and then actually get them prepared to germinate. So these are the seeds that I got out of those fruit. These are some of the grapefruit seeds. Like I said, after you peel that little shell off, it looks more like popcorn seeds. So I'll show how to germinate those. These are some pear seeds that I started, or I cut out yesterday, I believe. They look real similar to apple seeds, but just a little bit different. But it's a good amount of those as well, and I'll be able to germinate these too. And then these are the apple seeds that I just cut out. For some reason I only got 2. That's a little bit low, but both of these seeds look pretty healthy, so I should be able to germinate both of those as well. And then these are the kiwi seeds that I just cut out as well. It still has a lot of that sticky membrane on it, so I'm trying to get all of that off first. And once I get that off, then I should be able to germinate those as well. But for this video, I just want to show how to do the grapefruit and the pears, just because they have 2 kind of different processes. So for the grapefruit, this one's actually pretty simple. What I do is just take like a damp paper towel or napkin. Like I was mentioning earlier, I believe in the last video and earlier in this video, the best way to get seeds germinated, and most seeds kind of go through the same process, is having a moist, humid, and then dark environment. So instead of just planting these directly in the dirt, just to make sure that all of them germinate and I can just tell which ones are viable and which aren't, I started in a paper towel, and then what I do is just basically just cover it like this. This way it stays moist the entire time. And then what I do to keep the humidity up as well is put it in just a regular Ziploc bag. So once I put it in a Ziploc bag, I'll label it. For now, I'll just put it in there for the time being. And this doesn't have to go through the stratification process. So once you actually put it in the Ziploc bag, I'll just put it in a dark area, check on it every 2 or 3 days or so. And then once you can see some roots coming out, then that's when you want to like replant these and put them in an actual pot. Then for the pear seeds, it's almost the same exact process. So I start with another damp paper towel, spread them out evenly throughout. Like I was saying with the apples, they go through a process called stratification. If you want the seeds to germinate, you got to put them through that process. Basically, it's the same thing as germinating a seed, but you want to trick the seeds to make it think it's wintertime. Once that wintertime comes and it has the cold, moist environment, still a dark environment like it was under soil or under the ground. But once the winter passes, that cold temperature kind of helps start the process and do whatever it does need to break down, then actually get the germination process going for there. So the way I would trick it to think it's like the wintertime is do the same exact thing, put them in a damp paper towel, and I'll check on them every week or so. I won't check on it as often because it can take about a month, or it can take about 3 months to actually germinate. What I would do is do the same thing, put it in a Ziploc bag, and instead of just putting it in a regular cold environment, you can put it in one of your drawers in your refrigerator, and then just check every couple weeks or so to see once the roots actually come out. And then once the roots come out, you can transplant these seeds and then put them in the ground as well. All right, so before we get to the last part, I just wanted to give a quick update on some of the plants that were planted a few weeks back. It doesn't look like it's a huge change right now, but a lot of the seeds are starting to get their 3rd and 4th leaves. Basically, whenever seeds sprout, they usually have 2 leaves to start off with, like these right here. That's the one that actually starts taking in the sunlight and getting that photosynthesis process started. And then from there, a lot of the third and fourth leaves will start popping out, like you can see right there on the tomato plants, kind of coming out some. But yeah, just want to give y'all a quick update on it. These are the ones that were planted on the 8th of February. These other ones that I just planted earlier in the video were planted on February 29th. So they're a little bit behind. It's all good though. These will probably sprout in or they'll have fruit a little bit earlier than the other seeds will, but the other seeds will do just fine once I put them outside, once it gets warm enough. All right, I appreciate y'all tuning in. If you haven't already, go ahead and like the video, comment, subscribe, hit the little bell notification so you know the next time I upload a video. In my next video, I plan on showing how to prepare your garden bed. Right now, I only have one raised garden bed, but I plan on building another one in about a month or so. But in that video, I just want to show how to prepare the garden. That way, it's ready to go once you transplant some of the seeds that we're germinating right now. And then when you want to directly sow seeds as well. So until next time, guys, peace.